So you're looking for a cost-effective payment processing solution, and you're trying to decide between Payment Depot and Stax. Well, in this video, I'm going to be covering how Stax and Payment Depot compare in terms of pricing, features, and integrations, the math, and there's a lot of math, behind which one is going to be cheaper for you, and the key factors you need to consider when making this decision. And this is important because making the wrong decision can end up costing you thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars per year in transaction fees that you don't need to be paying. So make sure to stick around. So diving right into things, we'll start off with a high-level overview of Stax and then a high-level overview of Payment Depot. Now, Stax is a subscription-based payment processor that offers businesses transparent pricing with a 0% markup on interchange fees. This allows businesses to access wholesale rates and eliminate unpredictable transaction costs. The way they do this is through their subscription-based pricing. Stax charges a flat monthly fee starting out at $99 per month, and then depending on your pricing volume, that could increase up to $199 per month. There's no markup on interchange fees, so you're paying the direct interchange rates, which typically range from 1.65% to 2.65% without any additional percentage-based markup. You're looking at comprehensive payment tools, things like invoicing, recurring billing, mobile payments, analytics, and you've got integrations with platforms like QuickBooks, Xero, HubSpot, and many of the other platforms you use to run your business. Payment Depot, on the other hand, was actually acquired by Stax in 2021 and operates using an interchange plus pricing model. So with Payment Depot, instead of paying that $99 to $199 per month subscription fee, you're paying the direct interchange fee plus a small markup. There are going to be no hidden fees, so Payment Depot really stands out for their straightforward pricing. There's no surprise charges that you're going to encounter. And then their POS compatibility really stands out because they work with major systems like Clover, Deja Vu, and plenty of others, ensuring that you have flexibility with your current setup. So now let's dive into the math and talk numbers when comparing Stax and Payment Depot to see how their pricing is going to stack up. So with Stax, there are three different subscription tiers that you could be looking at. The first of which is $99 per month, and this applies for businesses processing up to $150,000 per year. If you're processing between $150,000 and $250,000 per year, then you're looking at $139 per month. And then at $199 per month, that's going to allow you to process over $250,000 per year. With all of these, there's going to be no markup on your transactions. You're only paying the direct interchange rates. Now, with Payment Depot, on the other hand, you're paying an interchange fee plus a variable rate between 0.2 and 1.95%, which is a very wide range, almost 10x variability between the low end and the high end of their rates. So there's going to be a lot of math to determine at what point in the spectrum Payment Depot is going to come out ahead versus Stax. Typically, though, Payment Depot is going to be better for businesses with smaller transactions due to their lower percentage markups. So there's a third option outside of subscription-based and interchange plus pricing called flat rate processing. And this is going to be what's offered by companies like Square. In general, this is going to be best if you have low volume, high price transactions, since they take a flat rate per each sale. So if your typical purchase is $500 or more, a flat rate processor like Square might make more sense than either Payment Depot or Stax. But if that's not your business, then Payment Depot or Stax is probably going to be better. Now with Payment Depot, you're looking at that wide range of anywhere from 0.2 to 1.95% markup. On the very low end of the spectrum with that 0.2% markup, Payment Depot is going to be more cost effective for businesses processing less than $1.2 million annually when compared with Stax. On the other end of the spectrum, with a 1.95% markup, Payment Depot is going to be better for businesses processing less than about $60,000 per year. If your Payment Depot markup is falling somewhere between the 0.2% and the 1.95% mark, then the point at which it's going to make sense for you is going to be between that $60,000 mark and that $1.2 million mark. We'll talk about where exactly that's going to fall in just a minute. Before we do, though, let's talk about when Stax is definitively a better option. Because of those fixed subscription fees that Stax offers, higher volume businesses are going to do better with Stax. That's because Stax pricing is flat rate and Payment Depot's pricing is percentage-based. So at a certain point, the percentages are going to be greater than the flat rate that Stax is charging. Now, we're going to get a little bit into the weeds here and talk about where exactly those crossover points are between Payment Depot and Stax if you are falling somewhere between that $60,000 mark and that $1.2 million mark in terms of your revenue. And as much as I don't want to bore you with all of this math, this could end up saving you tens of thousands of dollars per year, so it's incredibly important that you make the right decision here. If your business revenue is at that $150,000 $100,000 per year mark, you're going to need a markup below 0.8% from Payment Depot in order for Payment Depot to be cheaper. So if Payment Depot offers you a 1% markup and you have $150,000 per year revenue, it's going to be more expensive for you to go with Payment Depot than to go with that $99 per month fee from Stax. On the other hand, if they offer you a 0.6% markup, then it's going to be more cost effective for you to go with Payment Depot than to go with Stax. So that 0.8% markup is going to be the crossover point for you when deciding between Payment Depot and Stax at $150,000 per year of revenue. And now say you're between $150,000 and $250,000 per year, and you're falling in that $139 subscription tier with Stax. At that point, you're going to need below about a 0.7% markup for Payment Depot to be more cost effective for you. Then if you're bringing in over $1.2 million per year, even with a 0.2%, which is the lowest markup possible from Payment Depot, you're still going to be better off going with Stax. That's because for each additional dollar of revenue that you bring in, Payment Depot is getting more expensive. However, Stax is maintaining that same monthly rate, regardless of how many additional dollars you add past that point. So as a general rule, if your Payment Depot markup is below 0.8%, then it might be more cost effective for you to go with Payment Depot. However, if your markup exceeds 0.8%, then it's almost never going to be the right option for you unless your revenue is very low six figures or below. If your transaction volume is over $1.2 million per year, Stax is always going to be the better choice. And if your transaction volume is in the mid to high five figures, that's when you're going to be in the gray area and you're really going to want to run the math to make sure you know which option is better for you, because the cost differential could be very significant. Now, moving beyond pricing, let's talk about some of the other things that set Stax and Payment Depot apart. First of which is going to be their account management and features. So Stax is generally going to be better for businesses looking for predictability. If you want predictable monthly fees, transparent pricing, Stax is the place to go. They've also got those comprehensive tools like analytics, recurring billing, and next day deposits. Payment Depot, on the other hand, is going to be best for businesses that want more control over their per transaction costs with their Interchange Plus model. On top of that, their POS flexibility makes it super easy for businesses to integrate them into their existing systems. Now, looking at some potential downsides with these processors. First, with Stax, there's going to be no same-day deposits, so next-day deposits is your best bet there. And the hardware costs are not going to be included in the subscription fees, so you have to factor those in addition to the monthly rate. With Payment Depot, it's not going to be ideal for businesses with high-value transactions or low-volume processing, as that percentage markup can result in higher fees. Similar to Stax, there's also no same-day deposit options, and there's also limited reviews when it comes to customer service. Speaking of, let's talk about how these two stack up in terms of their support. With Stax, you're going to get phone and email support, but there are some complaints about occasional delays when it comes to resolving technical issues. With Payment Depot, on the other hand, they do have 24/7 customer support, but some users do report slower response times. Now, when it comes to choosing between Payment Depot and Stax, one of the main factors for consideration is what rate you're quoted by Payment Depot. Because this is variable, it really depends where that number falls, at what point it's going to make more sense for you to be with Payment Depot versus Stax. Additionally, if you are looking at very high value transactions, it might be worth looking at a flat rate processor like Square as well to see if that math actually works out in your favor. But in terms of the features, integrations, and compatibility, Payment Depot and Stax are going to be quite similar, so the main factor to consider really is going to be costs. Feel free to use the links in the description below to check out both companies and get a quote from Payment Depot if you want to support the channel and get the best available rates from both companies. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about these two options. I'd be happy to help you out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.